Okay, so on to our last track of our unscheduled programming. This is the last track that I did promise April. So, like I said, we're just sort of taking a little bit of a detour out and then just dropping these to get this one out the way and then getting back to the 535s, man. Agust D, Polar Night. That's another dude I absolutely love is Agust D, also BTS. The message over here from April is Agust D's Polar Night is a thought-provoking track that explores the blurred lines between truth and lies, justice and hypocrisy. The song's introspective lyrics delve into the complexities of modern society. Oh, we're going into that shit now. Alright. And the challenges of navigating a world filled with contradictions and false appearances. How many times do I talk about that? How many times do I talk about false appearances and everything being fake in this world? Alright, here's another track for a rant. Anyway, let's go. Polar Night. I actually like the name of the song. If that's actually the premise of the song, then I really like the name of the song because it just means cold darkness. Right. Come on, man. Let's go.
수많은 진실들과 수많은 거짓들 사이 우리는 제대로 세상을 바라보는가 진실과 거짓의 차이 선동과 본질의 사이 내 이득은 무엇인가 개같은 세상의 개처럼 살 순 없기에 눈을 뜬 채로 현실을 봐
For I can't live in the world like a dog. So between countless truths and countless lies, are we looking at the world right away? The right way? No, we're not. So the difference between lies and the gap between instigation and fundamental nature. What do I gain from this? For I can't live like a dog in a dog's world. But that's the world that they're trying to create for you. They're trying to create a world where it's literally the saying, dog eat dog, right? It's not about anybody else. It's all about your own sort of self-gratification. And it's almost like, there always used to be that saying until like we've moved into the secular culture where we literally we're a lot more direct with our sayings, where it's like, well, it's me first. You got to think of me first. You always hear that. It's me first. I got to think of myself. Got to think of myself. Everyone has to think of themselves, right? But back in the day, there was a saying that says, charity begins at home. Absolutely. You need to make sure that. And it actually ripples out in a certain way, in the sense charity begins at home. So you are kind not only to yourself, but that saying is not about being kind to yourself. It's about being kind to the ones closest to you, right? So your family first, regardless of regardless of their ideas, regardless of whether you agree with them or disagree with them. Family first. Charity begins at home. You start there, and then that will then step out into your friends. Then it'll step out into your community. Then it can step out further, and it can go up the ladder into society. But the problem is that when no one's operating in that way, if everyone's operating just in it's all for me, right? I need to look after myself. It's about me. Screw everybody else. Doesn't matter who I tread on. It doesn't matter what sort of ills I do to other people. It doesn't make a difference as long as I'm benefiting, which is the society we currently have today. It's all self-gratification, and it's very much driven by social media, this self-gratification, in the sense that you are the most important. Everybody wants their 15 minutes of fame, and they literally put themselves out. They put their best foots forward, and the best foot that they're putting forward isn't even their best foot. It's all for show. It's all for show. That's how desperately they want that gratification. That's how fragile, right, and fruitless their lives have become. Because they're not looking for anything deeper. They're not looking for that, yes, charity begins at home. But even at home, they don't, like, their family, they will disagree with their family. We got into a point where if your family doesn't share political view, if your family doesn't share, or a member of your family doesn't share your view, you need to shun them. They're bad people. They're bad people, right? So this is what they're trying to do. This is a society that's trying to divide everybody and say that you are the counterpoint. You are the center of not only your own universe, you are the center of everybody else's universe. And they need to see you as such, right? They need to see you that way. And that's why we've gotten this ideology where it's like, you need to refer to me in the way I want you to refer to me, right? And nobody needs to refer to you in any fucking which way. I like the saying that my grandmother used to say, you can call me whatever the fuck you like as long as you don't call me late for dinner. Right? That is the kind of mentality people should have. I don't give a fuck what you call me. I don't care what you call me. Who cares? I'm strong enough in my own fucking belief in myself and my character to not sit and melt if someone calls me something I don't want to be called. Who gives a fuck? Fuck you. It's my life. I don't care what you call me, right? Just don't call me late for dinner, right? I really do cherish dinner. Anyway, let's carry on. Let's go.
같은 세상의 개처럼 살 순 없기에 눈을 뜬 채로 현실을 봐 정의의 반대는 또 다른 종이 알잖아 세상엔 없거든 선이 팩트는 관심 없고 내 편이 아니면 죽여버리는 게 지금의 정의 좌와 우 흑과 백자 여친 연극 끝에 관계 그
That's a fucking fire line. So uncensored about the fact and killing anyone on a different side is what today's justice is. And he's literally talking about public justice. He's talking about mob justice, essentially. Not the justice system itself, where it's actually meant to be fair. You go before a judge and you go before a jury and they actually, you know, base everything on law. Today, it's not like that. Today, you are judged in the court of public opinion, right? So if you say something they don't like, you get judged. It doesn't actually matter. You get judged and you get literally thrown through the mud, and to a certain degree you would get cancelled because God forbid words should be said that will hurt your fucking feelings. That's just the way it is. But this over here is one of the okay, left and right, black and white at the end of this well staged play. That's actually a very, very, very important line over here, because that's the way they want you to see everything, right? We had real activists back in the day, real activists like Dr. King, like Rosa Parks, like Nelson Mandela, like Mahatma Gandhi, like Mother Teresa, real activists that literally, right, banded people together. Right? They actually drove cultures towards each other, not away from each other. They drove races towards each other and not away from each other. They did actual good work. Actual good work. Look at your movements today. Every fucking movement is fake. Every movement is fake. I don't care what you tell me. I don't care what movement it is, whether a human rights movement, a feminist movement, whether it be a fucking climate movement, all of it. All of it is fake. None of it is operating from a virtuous moral standpoint, because it is laced with hypocrisy right across the board. Right across the board. They cannot see their own failures and their own hypocrisies inside of their own movement. Right? It's all tribal. It's this tribal mentality. Is even if we do wrong, it doesn't matter. Even if we are the ones who are in the wrong, it doesn't matter, because it's our side. We need to be right. Regardless, even if the other guy is right, he's wrong. You can't follow movements like that. You can't follow movements like that. You can't follow movements that are laced with hypocrisy. It's all bullshit. It's this narcissistic, nihilistic, garbage thought process that is just this loop mentality of I'm right, and even if you have good reason, dissent doesn't exist. Even if we can actually discuss and you can literally tear apart my argument, that's actually why they don't want to have the discussion. That's why they don't want to have dissent, is because you will literally dismantle their entire worldview. So therefore you can't speak. Therefore you can't speak. Right? And this is the problem, is we've turned everything into left and right, and it's become a game that they've played. It's become a game that the elites have played. Left and right, blue and red, fucking black and white. Literally, this is what they're doing. They're doing it for a fucking purpose. What you don't realize is these political parties today, these fucking sort of like globalists today, right? They don't give a fuck for left and right. They're all operating under the same fucking structure. And you know what the structure is? Right? You need to comply so that we can impose what we want to impose on the world, so that we can get richer and you can have bare minimum. That's where it's going. That's literally where it's going. Right? The whole world's like, the whole of the Western world's like that. Let me just tell you that. All right? That's the game that they're playing over here. You just need to comply. That's why socialism is so fucking appealing to these guys. Because people tend to think that there's no one's gonna be rich in socialism, right? Everyone's gonna be the same, right? There's gonna be, if we usher in socialism, there's going to be no corruption, nothing. No, all of a sudden these politicians and these corrupt business people and these corrupt elites are all gonna find God in the righteous way and be like, yep, we are all the same. Yeah, Sure, right? While they'll say, you can live in your fucking poverty while we fly our fucking jets. We'll tell you to not be able to drive your gas-powered car while we've got a fucking motorcade to get where we need to go. And we've got a private jet that spews out 20 times the emissions that a commercial jet does, but we need it. We need the jets. We need the yachts. You can't have any of that, right? Because you're evil. Right? You're contributing to climate change, but we need the fucking emissions spewing technology, right? Because we're more important than you. Do you know what I mean? That's the world you'll get. That's the world you'll get. That's the hypocrisy you'll get. You know what I mean? Or not that you will get. It's the hypocrisy you are getting. Anyway, carry on. The war without gunfire, the ills of materialism. And that's basically that's what we've developed in the Western world. All about capitalism, profitability, and stature. Right? What's your stature in society? Are you keeping up with the fucking Joneses? Do you know what I mean? That's what happens. And that's what happens when listen, I've said this 1,000 times before. Human beings are worshipping beings, right? We from our inception, we were made to worship, right? And if we don't worship something higher than ourselves, we will land up worshipping ourselves and the mundane, right? That is what we will land up worshipping. And it's soulless. It is soulless when you're consistently worshipping yourself, thinking that you are the greatest above everybody else, where everybody needs to be in service to you and you can't be in service to anybody else because you're too fucking important. Right? And to show that importance, to show that stature, to show that you have some level of status, right? You need to turn to materialism. You need to gain all of these completely mundane, pointless things that add nothing to your life. And why do you need to get more of it? Is because more of it's never enough, right? One nice car is not enough. 2 nice cars. Because the other guy's got 3 nice cars, I'll get 3 nice cars. But he's got 4 nice cars, I need 4 nice cars. But he's got $1 million wardrobe, I need a $2 million wardrobe. And what happens is all of those cheap happinesses, all of those cheap thrills just keep accumulating. And the longer you do that, right, all you're doing is you're taking from one end. And when I say you're taking from the one end, you're taking from the soul. So you're depleting the soul just to gain material things that you cannot put in your pockets when you die. You cannot. Your last suit will not have pockets. You won't be able to stuff the pockets in your grave. It's just not going to happen, right? But what you will need in your grave, what you will need at the end of your life, when you've got 2 feet in the grave already, is you will need that soul. But you inched it out throughout your entire life, right? And you'll leave nothing but possessions to rot, right? And nothing of a legacy either. So anyway, carry on. Selective hypocrisy. 100% perspectives brought from within one's ideological ground. Right? And that ideological ground is molded. It's molded by idolatry, and people don't actually realize that. So we created this world of creating these idols, right? These Hollywood idols, right? So it's no longer the golden calves and all that kind of shit like back in the day. Now, our idols, in terms of the biblical sense, are those idiots who wag their asses on stage for you. Do you know what I mean? And those are the ones who are idolizing. We are idolizing a mere mortal on stage, right? Where we lose our perspective and lose our logic entirely. I mean, just the defense of these people. These are people that wouldn't piss in your direction if they saw you on the fucking street, and you must see the defense of these people in comment sections. If you have a difference of opinion on a single one of these golden calves, right? Everyone starts fucking melting away. Melting away, instead of being like, I disagree with you, but all right, you know, everyone each to their own. Do you know what I mean? It is crazy, and you see it all over the show. You see it Ronaldo versus Messi, Kobe Bryant versus LeBron James. You just see it all over, where people are like, well, I think Messi's better. I think Messi is the GOAT. Right? People will stoop down so fucking low. They will stoop down so low to harass you. Right? For actually saying, I think Messi is the GOAT. You know what I mean? He's the GOAT. I mean, you don't have to agree with me. You know what I mean? But the thing is that if you do it, people just absolutely fall apart. And I'm thinking to myself, who are you defending over here? You think Messi or Ronaldo or any of these elites or any of these celebrities are sitting at home and crying, wiping their tears with millions of euros? Know what I mean? Oh, shame, this person said, they don't fucking care. You're the idiots that are sitting in the comment sections, sitting there fighting over each other, being assholes towards each other over a fucking opinion. Over an opinion. That is where society has gotten. That's how, like, completely ignorant and arrogant society has gotten. We are as shallow as a fucking puddle today. Literally zero depth to us. Anyway, carry on. 시선을 진영에 갇힌 태도 선택 위선과 불편한 태도 오직 내 기분에 맞춰 버리는 수많은 진실들과 수많은 거짓들 사이 우리는 제대로 세상을 바라보는가 It is so dirty 나처럼 깨끗한가 It is so dirty 당신은 깨끗한가 시커먼 질문들과 That's a good question over there. That's a very good question. Very great introspective question over here. He says it is all dirty, but then the ad-lib, like the background, there was a voice that said, but can you say that you're clean? Right? Can you say that you're clean in this system? And that's actually a very interesting question because when the system is constructed to be this way, right? How clean can you say you are? How clean can you say? How much sort of how complicit are you in this, right? Were you able to stand up? Were you able to walk the other way? Or did you just go along to get along? And the majority of the time, the reason why the world turns to darkness is because it's not because of the people who are the loudest. It's because of the people who are the quietest. It's because of the people who are silent. And the problem is, in this sort of situation, the large majority are silent. And that's what's criminal. That is what's criminal today, is that the large majority of society are silent when they see and they hear the untruths because they are scared to be cancelled, because they are scared to be dragged through the mud, because they are scared that the mob will come after them. They just stay silent. And you know what you get with that? The Holocaust. Do you know what you get with that? Nazism. That's what you get when the majority stays silent. And everyone tends to think that, oh no, but that's that's an extreme case. No. It always starts off that simple. It starts off that simple, right? Where you've got to start silencing societies, and it starts with the compassionate card. Oh, if you say this, you're being incompassionate to that guy, so you can't say that. In order to not offend that guy, you need to keep quiet. And then it carries on, and it plays out through society. And then before you know it, you can say less and less and less and less and less. And then it goes from them asking you to be tolerant. You say, no, it's cool, I'm tolerant. I'm tolerant of different people's mores, no problem. I'm happy to be tolerant of it. Accepting, that goes to the next one. You got to accept it. I accept it. Do you, man? As long as it's you, as long as you keep that in your house, whatever you do, I don't care, right? As long as it doesn't, and that's where society went. This is how far we pushed it, where it's like, listen, we tolerate your own life and the way you do things. No problem. Each one to their own. Then you got to accept it. Perfect. We accept it. Accept it. What you do in your own private time, or when you in your house, do whatever the fuck you like in your house. I don't really care. I don't give a shit. That's all you. That doesn't matter. Don't tell me what to do in my house. I won't tell you what to do in yours. No problem at all. Do you know what I mean? And then after that, when we've gone through tolerance, acceptance, and they realize, okay, well, wait a second, we can push this further. Then they say no, participation. And then people are like, no, I'm not willing to participate. No, you have to participate in this. Your kids have to participate in this, because if they don't, you're a bigot. And that's where I say, okay, cool, I'm a bigot. Fine, I'm a bigot then, fuck you. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm sorry, I'm willing to tolerate, I'm willing to accept, but when you now tell me to bring me into your worldview And to say that you now need to practice that, or else you will be silenced, or else you will be a bigot, or else you will be labeled, then label me. Because then words mean fucking nothing anymore. Because then truths mean nothing anymore. So what's the fucking point? Then label me. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? That's the fucking problem. Carry on.
당신은 깨끗한가? 시커먼 질문들과 무차별 비난들 사이 우리는 무엇을 위해서 싸우는가? It is so dirty. 난 또한 깨끗한가? It is so dirty. 당신은 깨끗한가? 내 모든 하루 종이들은 외치는 사이 숨죽인 이들은 비웃지 말이 너무 많은 시대의 입을.
That's a bar. While some scream justice with bloodstained tongues, fire, bro. It's the ones. It's the ones who are victimizing people that are playing victim. That's fire.
하루 종이들은 외치는 사이 숨죽인 이들은 비웃지 말이 너무 많은 시대의 입을 잡으면 방해자라고 손가락질을 해대네 어디서 감히 팍팍팍 익명.
What did I just say? Oh my god.
많은 시대의 입을 잡으면 방해자라고 손가락질을 해.
In this era of too many words, there's a lot of people fucking saying stuff. This is what I loved about the time before social media. The great thing about the time before social media is that the village idiot stayed in the village. You never heard of the village idiot. Now today, all you've got is the village idiots with megaphones. That's the fucking problem with social media. In this era of too many words, keeping your mouth shut makes you a bystander. How dare you? So that's exactly what I said. I literally said that what's criminal in today's world are the people who stay silent, not the people who are the loudest, right? Those aren't really the problems. Even the ones who are like trying to radically change the world, right, and destroy it and replace it with nothing beautiful. It's literally just to make a complete sort of vacuous hole where the ashes of what was built before them by blood, sweat, and tears will be just put there. Right? They got no plans to build on it. They just want to destroy it, right? Because they'll always tell you what they hate. They'll never tell you what they love, right? That's the narcissistic fucking playbook, right? But in this era of too many words, keeping your mouth shut makes you a bystander. It's exactly that. I say it's the people who remain silent. It's the people who are silenced into submission. Those are the ones that allow societies to fall. Those are the ones, because if the ones who stay silent had to rise up and speak, which I kind of feel like you're starting to get that. You're starting to get a bit of an awakening. You're starting to get, you can see, I mean, take a look at Europe. Take a look at Europe. What's happening, right? Everyone's moving right. Look at how that's all switching, right? Everyone's moving to the right again. Pendulum swings, man. That's what happens when you play on the extremes. You go extreme left, what you're going to get is that pendulum overcorrecting and going to the extreme right. That is what happens. This is what happens in society. And the craziest thing is that we see it again and again and again and again in history, and we refuse to fucking learn from it. Like, we refuse to learn from this shit. Seriously, when you play on the extremes, you are going to get the equal opposite extreme. That is what is going to happen. If you go far left, you are eventually going to go, people are eventually going to go far right to counteract that, and they're going to overcorrect. Do you know what I mean? That's why moderacy, that's why centrist, moderate political thought is what's fucking needed, so that we're not playing on these extremes, because the extremes are dangerous. The extremes are dangerous. And now what's happening in Europe is we're going from the extreme left to the extreme right. And everyone's sitting there like, oh, how are we going to, everyone's going to authoritarianism. Well, of course. Of course. Why would you not go to authoritarianism when you're trying to deter fucking totalitarianism? Do you know what I mean? It's always funny when the totalitarians start fucking whining about how the whole world's moving to authoritarianism. Do you know what I mean? At least authoritarianism is going to tell you that you can't do this. We've got a certain set of standards and you can't do this in public, right? In public, this is our image. This is our nationality. This is our traditions. Whatever the fuck you do in your own household, that's your fucking problem. But in public, that doesn't go, right? That doesn't go. I got my problems with authoritarianism, don't get me wrong, right? But you know what totalitarianism says? Totalitarianism says you cannot think for yourself. You shall think as a collective, and what happens in your privacy, what happens in your home, in your bedroom, what happens in your lounge, at your kitchen table, right, needs to be dictated to by us. Your children need to think the way we tell them to think. They're no longer your children. That's totalitarianism. So why would why would the world not be running away from that, where it's a system of trying to get you to comply to everything, right? A system of trying to tell you that your kid's worldview needs to be that of the systems and not that of your own, right? Why would people not be shifting radically away from that? I'm drawing with a pencil on my table. Don't worry, I'll clean it, although I'm stupid to do this. Why would they not shift to authoritarianism, where it's these big, brash, boastful leaders who come in and say, okay, this is what they've been trying to do. We're going to go far right now, and we're going to be like, in public, this is our country and our nation's image. That's it. What you do in your house is your fucking problem. But don't embarrass us on the fucking streets. Not that I agree with that. I agree with moderacy. I agree with being a centrist. But no one seems to want to be a centrist today. All right? So we got to go one way or the next. That's just the way it is. We've been forced into that direction. Right? If you're not a hard left, you're a hard right. They put you there. Okay. Well, then when you know what people do? Cool. I'm hard right then. That's what they do. That's what happens. That's what you get with the extremes.
자라고 손가락질을 해대네 어디서 감히 팍팍팍 익명 속에 가린 비겁한 자들이 행하는 서린 가시돋지 마른다 널 위한 거고 이제 해명을 하려고 하는 가식이 감히 팍팍팍 입 다무는 범인 당신들이 외쳐대던 값싼 종인 피를 흘린 니들을 위한 게 아니잖아 제발 마주하라고 이 불편한 소리 황색 언론이 만드는 노시 누군가의 이득에 의한 초이스 우리끼리 치고받고 싸우는 게 무슨 의미 창까지 미래를 장난하고 정치적 올바름 좋아내 이 멋대로 귀찮은 문제니
YouTube in this fucking spacebar can drive me mental. What's the point in fighting amongst ourselves? I tell you, our spearheads should be directed upwards. What a fucking line. It's a bar. It's a bar. That is exactly. But the problem is that the people who are there, the rulers, right? Those ones are the ones that have told you, they've actually brainwashed society to say that your biggest enemy is your fucking neighbor. Right? And we followed along. And do you know how they were successful in doing that? Through the media apparatus, through the social media apparatus, through all the technocrats, through Hollywood, through all of those elite idols that tell you all of these different things, that'll say defund the police while they sit behind their fucking 10-foot walls with a fucking army of security. Do you know what I mean? Instead of not being reductionist about something, instead of actually going to the root cause of a problem and saying, listen, I think we should have some dissent. Let's talk about this. No. They bring it down to like, police are evil. Yeah, well, some of them are. Some of them are. But the majority aren't. The majority are there to actually do a good job. And the communities that are in dire need of them cannot have them defunded. They most certainly cannot have them defunded. But you'll have the idiots in the fucking elite that'll say, oh, no, defund them. Well, yeah, because you're fucking going around with an entourage of security who are carrying fucking rifles for you. Do you know what I mean? And that's the fucking problem. That's the problem, is the higher-ups that are telling you to hate your fucking neighbor who didn't do fucking nothing to you outside of maybe having a different opinion. Right? And those are the people we are deciding to stab. Those are the people who are decided. We are stabbing horizontally as opposed to stabbing vertically. Vertically? Oh, vertically, yeah. That's the fucking problem. That's the fucking problem. We're listening to these people. And do you know how they play into that? They play into that through compassion. The reason you've got to stab that guy is so that you can be compassionate to that guy. And you know what's going to do you know what that mentality is going to do? That mentality is eventually going to be that they're eventually going to create a society that consumes each other on everything. Everyone is going to consume each other. Trust me, the people who are permeating this kind of logic throughout society are going to get eaten themselves. Right? The righteous ones are going to get eaten themselves. Let me just tell you, they will consume each other because that's the society we're creating. Anyway, carry on. Play.
언론이 만드는 노시 누군가의 이득에 의한 초이스 우리끼리 치고받고 싸우는 게 무슨 의미 창까지 미래를 장난하고 정치적 올바름도 안 내 이 멋대로 귀찮은 문제니 반문체로 선택적 위선과 불편한 태도 오직 내 기분에 맞춰 버리는 해석 진실과 거짓적 이 멋대로 불편한 진실에는 감은 채로 선택적 위선과 불편한 태도 오직 내 기분에 맞춰 버리는 해석 수많은 진실들과 수많은 거짓들 사이 우리는 제대로 세상을 바라보는가 It is all dirty Not the one get the 있을 듯 당신은 깨끗한가 시커먼 질문들과 무차별 비난들 사이 우리는 무엇을 위해서 싸우는가 있을 듯
Another great line, and God, spacebar story. Between the malicious questions and indiscriminate criticism, what is that we're fighting for? No one looks deeper than that, right? Everything is so surface level at the moment. It's crazy. It's all down to, you get offended by words. Words. And we're so fucking stupid. We literally like these little fucking chicks in a fucking nest, exactly where the politicians want us. And the politicians are holding a worm on top of us. And all we're sitting there is yapping at each other, not even thinking. I don't know, we just want that worm. We just want that worm. We just want that worm. They just feed us whatever. Feed us whatever. We will chirp whatever you need us to chirp, as long as you know, as long as there's the perception of goodness, not goodness. Because all you see today is you just see people, right, who are they're acting as if they're good while doing evil. That's all you're seeing today. It's the perception of goodness instead of actually being good, right? It's all about intentions. Oh, but the intentions. Oh, but he has good intentions. But the outcomes are all fucking shit. All the outcomes are rubbish. There are no good outcomes, but there are always good intentions. Always good intentions. The road to hell is paved with good intentions and Ivy League degrees in today's world. Do you know what I mean? And that's what you're getting today, unfortunately, right? Like I said this before, it's like the child who wants to cook his mother breakfast because he has a good intention, right? He wants to cook his mother breakfast. Right? When his mother says, don't touch the stove. No. Let him touch the stove. It's good intentions. Then he burns the whole fucking house down. Right? Now he's got nowhere to live. Right? But people are saying, oh, but he had good intentions. Well, he's got nowhere to live now. So does the good intentions mean anything? No, the outcome was fucked. He probably shouldn't have touched the stove and listened to his mother. That's the way. That's where we are in society. Anyway, carry on.
시커먼 질문들과 무차별 비난들 사이 우리는 무엇을 위해서 싸우는가 It is 듯 나 또한 깨끗한가 It is 듯 당신은 깨끗한가
Fire. This reaction's been long enough. These kind of tracks, as you know, these kind of tracks are always going to get me into a fucking rant, because it's something I rarely do passionately sort of follow and believe in terms of the way the world has gone and society has gone. And I have my own views and I have my own perceptions, and if you don't like them, it's perfectly fine. I don't want you to agree with me. I don't need you to agree with me, right? Those are my views to hold, and if you don't like them, you don't like them. If you want to call me whatever you want to call me for them, go ahead, do it. I don't care. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.